It's 1 a.m. Then it's 3 a.m. Then it's 4:30 a.m. You're exhausted, but your bladder has other plans. If you're over 40 and you're waking up 2, 3, or even more times a night to urinate, you're not just tired, you're being robbed of your health. This condition has a name. It's called Nocturia. And many people, maybe even your doctor, have told you to just accept it as a normal part of aging. But what if I told you it's not? What if that belief is the very thing holding you back from the deep, restorative sleep you desperately need? What if you could reclaim your nights and your energy, not with a magic pill, but with a few simple, powerful changes to what you eat and how you live? Hello and welcome to 40 Plus Wellness. I'm your host, and this channel is dedicated to one single belief, that the second half of your life can, and should be, the best half. Today, we are not just tackling Nocturia, we are starting a revolution against it. Together, we'll reveal the top 3 vegetables and other amazing foods that can calm your bladder. I'll share 5 simple, yet profound, lifestyle changes that can dramatically reduce those nighttime trips to the bathroom, starting as soon as tonight. This isn't about medication. It's about giving your body what it needs to restore its natural, God-given rhythm. Some of us have been told that chronic sleep disruption is just something we have to endure. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not good enough. Sleep is not a luxury. It is the foundation of our health. It's when our body repairs tissues, our brain flushes out toxins, and our hormones reset for the day ahead. When Nocturia steals your sleep, it's a thief in the night. It steals your energy, leaving you dragging through your afternoons. It steals your mood, making you irritable and anxious. It steals your mental clarity, wrapping your thoughts in a frustrating fog. And over the long term, it steals your health. But today, that cycle ends. In this comprehensive guide, we are going to do a deep dive into the science of why this is happening to you. Then, I'm going to give you a powerful, science-backed toolkit to fight back. We will cover the specific vegetables, the crucial foods, and the life-altering habits that can help you reclaim your nights. This is your masterclass in understanding and overcoming Nocturia. Before we can fix a problem, we must truly understand it. So, why does a bladder that served you perfectly well for decades suddenly decide to become the world's most annoying alarm clock right after 40 or 50? It's not your fault, and it's not random. It's a predictable combination of factors. First, there's a crucial hormonal shift. Our brains produce a wonderful hormone called ADH, or antidiuretic hormone. Think of ADH as the gentle, responsible night watchman for your kidneys. When the sun goes down, your brain releases ADH, and it travels to your kidneys with a simple message: "Hey, it's nighttime. Let's slow down urine production so the boss can get some sleep." As we age, our bodies often produce less of this ADH night watchman. With no one there to give the slow down signal, the kidneys keep working the day shift, producing urine at a steady rate all night long, filling your bladder much faster than nature intended. Second, your bladder itself physically changes. I want you to imagine your bladder is a brand new, stretchy party balloon. When you're young, it can hold a lot of air, or in this case, fluid, without any issue. It expands easily and comfortably. But after decades of use, that balloon, that bladder wall, loses some of its youthful elasticity. The tissues, rich in a protein called collagen, become a little less pliable. This means it can't hold as much as it used to, so it sends the "I'm full" signal to your brain much sooner, and with much less fluid inside. The official term for this is decreased nocturnal bladder capacity, but all it really means is your balloon can't stretch as much as it used to. And third, and this is so important, there's the pelvic floor. I want you to think of your pelvic floor muscles as a strong, supportive hammock, stretching from your pubic bone in the front to your tailbone in the back. This hammock holds up your bladder, your uterus or prostate, and your rectum. For this system to work, the hammock needs to be both strong and flexible. But after decades of sitting, perhaps childbirth for women, or prostate enlargement for men, that hammock can weaken and sag. A weak hammock struggles to keep the urethra, the tube you urinate from, fully closed, leading to leaks or a constant feeling of urgency. Conversely, sometimes the hammock can become too tense, too tight from stress or poor posture. A tense floor sends false, "I have to go now," signals to the brain, even when the bladder isn't full. So you see, it's a perfect storm. Less of the quiet please hormone, a less accommodating bladder, and a less reliable support system. And I know what you might be thinking, that all sounds terrible. Is there any hope? The answer is a resounding yes. We can take powerful, decisive steps to counteract every single one of these factors. And our journey begins in the most accessible, life-giving place we have, our kitchen. We'll start with 3 powerhouse vegetables that are gentle on your bladder, but ruthlessly tough on the inflammation that causes irritation. Let's start with our number 3 choice, the beautiful bell pepper. When we think of vitamin C, our minds immediately go to acidic fruits like oranges, lemons, or grapefruit. And while those are healthy, for someone with an irritable bladder, acidic foods are like throwing gasoline on a fire. They can directly irritate the bladder lining. This is where the humble bell pepper becomes a nutritional superhero. Bell peppers, especially the vibrant red and yellow ones, are absolutely bursting with vitamin C, but they have virtually no acidity. Why is this so important? Vitamin C is a potent antioxidant, but think of it as the master foreman for your body's construction crew. It is absolutely critical for building and repairing. Collagen. And what is collagen? It's the protein that forms the very structure of your bladder wall, giving it strength and elasticity. A stronger, healthier bladder wall is a calmer, less reactive bladder wall. Our second best vegetable choice is actually a duo, the marvelous magnesium power couple, squash and pumpkin. Foods like butternut squash, pumpkin, and even zucchini are phenomenal for bladder health. The secret ingredient is a mineral that up to 80% of adults are deficient in, magnesium. I want you to think of magnesium as the ultimate relaxation mineral for your entire body. Your bladder, which is a muscle called the detrusor muscle, is designed to do 2 things: relax and stretch as it fills, and contract to push urine out. When your nervous system is on high alert from stress, or your bladder is irritated, that muscle can become spastic. It contracts when you don't want it to, creating that constant, nagging, exhausting urge to go. Here's how magnesium works its magic. Think of your muscle cells as having tiny little doors. A mineral called calcium is the key that unlocks and opens the door, telling the muscle to contract. Magnesium is the gentle, calming hand that comes along and closes the door, allowing the muscle to fully let go and relax. When you're low on magnesium, it's like these doors get stuck open, leaving the muscle in a state of constant tension. By ensuring you have adequate magnesium from foods like squash, you are literally telling your bladder muscle to take a deep breath, calm down, relax, and stop spasming. This allows your bladder to fill to its proper capacity without sending those premature, frustrating alarm signals to your brain. And now, for the number 1 best vegetable to calm your bladder and help you sleep through the night: the brilliant broccoli. Broccoli, and its cruciferous cousins like cauliflower and kale, are true champions of urinary health for several very important reasons. First, just like bell peppers, they are wonderfully non-acidic and packed with vitamins that support your entire system. But their real magic lies in 2 other components. First, they are incredibly high in fiber. Now, you're probably wondering. Second, broccoli contains a powerful compound called sulforaphane. You don't need to remember the name, but you do need to remember what it does. It is one of nature's most potent anti-inflammatory agents. It works at a deep, cellular level to switch off inflammatory responses, not just in your bladder, but throughout your entire body. Soothing inflammation is absolutely key to allowing your entire urinary system to function calmly and correctly. Now, beyond the vegetable aisle, there is one single food that is so effective. It has been the subject of numerous scientific studies specifically for overactive bladder and nocturia. I want you to lean in for this one. It is the powerful pumpkin seed. If you do nothing else after watching this guide, please start eating a small handful of raw, not roasted and salted, pumpkin seeds every day. Here's why they are so incredibly effective. First, just like the squash they come from, they are an absolute goldmine of bladder-relaxing magnesium. But they also contain a high concentration of wonderful omega-3 fatty acids. If inflammation is a fire in your body, think of omega-3s as the body's internal fire department. They are essential for cooling down the inflammatory processes that lead to irritation. But the real secret weapon in pumpkin seeds is a group of compounds called phytosterols. Research has shown that these unique plant-based compounds can help with hormonal balance, which can influence both prostate health in men and bladder health in women. It's believed that these compounds, along with the seed's unique fatty acid profile, work together to strengthen the tissues of the pelvic floor and reduce the involuntary contractions of an overactive bladder. Think of it this way. The vegetables we discussed help to soothe the system and put out the fires. But the pumpkin seeds go to work actively rebuilding and strengthening the control mechanisms themselves. Eating the right foods is a massive, foundational step forward. But to truly conquer nocturia and reclaim your sleep, you must combine this powerful nutrition with a smart, strategic lifestyle. I'm going to share with you the 5 golden rules that will, without a doubt, transform your nights. Golden rule number 1. Become a master of fluid management. This is the most logical rule, but it is also the most misunderstood. People hear, "Don't drink before bed," and they accidentally dehydrate themselves. This is a huge mistake. Dehydration makes your urine more concentrated with waste products, which can actually be more irritating to the bladder lining, making the problem worse. The key is not drinking less overall, it's drinking smarter. I want you to adopt a front-loading strategy. Your goal is to drink 80% of your daily fluids before 6 p.m. Drink water freely all morning and all afternoon. This keeps you wonderfully hydrated, energized, and flushes your system when it's convenient for you. Then, in the evening, you begin to taper off dramatically. The golden rule is this: no liquids of any kind for at least 2 to 3 hours before your head hits the pillow. This is your non-negotiable pact with yourself. This gives your kidneys the time they need to process those fluids and for you to empty your bladder completely before you go into sleep mode. And we must have an honest talk about bladder irritants. In the evening, you must avoid them like the plague. This means no caffeine, which includes coffee, black tea, green tea, many sodas, and even dark chocolate. Caffeine is a double whammy. It's a diuretic, making you produce more urine, and it's a direct bladder stimulant. No alcohol. It may make you feel sleepy initially, but it wreaks havoc on your sleep cycle, disrupts that precious ADH hormone, and irritates the bladder. No carbonated drinks, as the fizz can irritate a sensitive bladder. And finally, no artificial sweeteners like aspartame, which are known chemical irritants for many people. Stick to water or a calming, non-caffeinated herbal tea like chamomile in the early evening only. Golden rule number 2. Perform the double void technique. This sounds technical, but it's an incredibly simple and shockingly effective trick. It's a technique to ensure your bladder is truly, completely, 100% empty before you sleep. Here's how you do it. Right before you get into bed for the night, go to the bathroom and urinate as you normally would. Don't rush. When you're finished, don't immediately get up. Stay sitting for another 30 to 60 seconds. Take a few deep, relaxing breaths. Then, Lean forward slightly from your hips and try to urinate again. You will often be surprised that a little more comes out. That little bit extra is the phantom fluid that was hiding in the base of your bladder, and it's often exactly what would have woken you up an hour or two later. You're simply outsmarting your bladder. Golden rule number 3. Elevate your legs before bed. This is a game-changing hack that I wish everyone knew about. Throughout the day, as we stand and sit for hours, gravity does its thing. It pulls fluid down into our lower extremities. This is a mild and very common form of fluid retention called peripheral edema. It's why your socks might leave a mark on your ankles at the end of the day. When you lie down flat in bed, gravity suddenly equalizes. All that fluid that was pooled in your ankles and calves makes its way back into your general circulation. Your ever-diligent kidneys detect this sudden influx of excess fluid, filter it out as they are designed to do, and send it straight to your bladder. This is why you so often have to get up an hour or two after falling asleep. The solution is genius in its simplicity. For about an hour before bed, while you're reading or watching television, lie down and elevate your legs. Prop them up on a stack of pillows, or, even better, lie on the floor with your legs resting up against the wall. This allows that river of fluid to re-enter your circulation before you go to sleep. You can then empty it all out during your double void, and finally get into bed with a truly empty and settled system. Golden rule number 4. Rethink your relationship with salt. A fascinating study from Japan found that a high-sodium dinner is a primary, yet often overlooked, trigger for nocturia. The science is simple. When you eat a lot of salt in the evening, your body, in its wisdom, holds onto water to dilute that salt and maintain a healthy balance. It's a protective mechanism. Then, overnight, as it finally processes all that salt, it releases all the water it was holding onto, and the result is a sudden deluge that overwhelms your bladder. The fix isn't to eliminate salt, which is a vital mineral for your health. It's to time it. Have your main salt intake with your breakfast or your lunch. Keep your dinner relatively low in sodium. This means being mindful of processed foods, canned soups, frozen dinners, and heavy sauces in the evening. This small shift aligns beautifully with your body's natural rhythms and can have a massive impact on your nighttime urine production. Golden rule number 5. Awaken and strengthen your pelvic floor. This is perhaps the most empowering rule of all, because it puts direct muscular control back in your hands. We are going to turn that weak or overly tense hammock into a strong, supple, and supportive foundation. We do this with Kegel exercises, but the absolute key is doing them correctly. Many people do them wrong, squeezing their abs or their glutes, which can actually make things worse. Before we conclude, I want to touch on one more crucial element, the mind-bladder connection. Have you ever noticed that you need to urinate more when you're nervous or stressed? That's not in your head. Stress releases a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol puts your nervous system on high alert, and this directly affects your bladder muscle, making it more spastic and reactive. This creates a vicious cycle. You worry about waking up, which creates stress, which makes your bladder more reactive, which makes you wake up, which makes you more tired and stressed the next day. Breaking this cycle with stress management techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or a gentle walk before bed can be profoundly helpful. Let's just take a breath and recap the incredible, empowering toolkit you now have. We've learned that nocturia isn't a life sentence. It's a result of real, understandable, and changeable factors in our bodies. We've armed ourselves with a nutritional arsenal: soothing bell peppers for collagen repair, magnesium-rich squash to relax the bladder muscle, anti-inflammatory broccoli to calm the entire system, and the scientifically proven power of pumpkin seeds to strengthen our control. And we've mastered the 5 golden rules of lifestyle: front-loading our fluids, practicing the double void, elevating our legs before bed, timing our salt intake, and consistently strengthening our pelvic floor. This is not just a list of suggestions. This is a plan. This is your personal roadmap back to the deep, uninterrupted, healing sleep that you not only crave, but that you have a right to. This is how you take back control from your bladder and restore your body's natural, peaceful rhythm. And this is exactly what we do here at 40 Plus Wellness. We don't believe in quick fixes or in getting used to it. We believe in giving you the knowledge and the tools to understand your body, to work with it, and to build a future that is healthier, more energetic, and more vibrant than you ever thought possible. If you have found value in this detailed guide today, if you feel that spark of hope that you can finally win back your nights, then I warmly invite you to become part of our growing community. Please, take a moment to click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. It's a small click for you, but it's a huge signal to us that this content is helping and making a difference. It allows us to keep creating these in-depth guides for you, to help you thrive. Remember, your body is always trying to communicate with you. Those nighttime wake-up calls aren't a punishment. They are simply a request for help. Today, you have learned exactly how to answer that request. Start small. Don't try to do everything at once. Pick just one or two of these strategies to implement tonight. Maybe it's just elevating your legs and practicing the double void. Master that. Then, add another strategy next week. Be patient with your body. Be consistent with your efforts. And most of all, be kind to yourself. You have the power to change your nights, and in doing so, you will absolutely change your days. Thank you so much for investing this time in yourself and for joining me on this journey today. I would genuinely love to hear from you. Please, leave a comment below. Let me know which of these tips resonated with you the most, or if you have a question. And please, consider coming back in a few weeks to share your success stories. They will inspire so many others who are feeling just as hopeless as you may have felt today. Until next time, here's to your health, and to long, peaceful, uninterrupted nights. Sleep well. Sources: